We're always talking about the way we use our land, our greenbelt, our brownfield sites. But we never talk about our scrapland, those little parcels of land that get left behind when we build houses or knock them down. But wait, here's a little patch of scrapland that's being turned into a working community garden, right in the centre of urban Salford. So let's talk to the woman who's making it happen, Helen Stoker.
I knew this plot very well because it's really close to where I live, and it was just a waste of space, really.
So here's the space.
It was just grass and mown by the council a couple of times a year. It was a place where people brought their dogs to poo and a place where people often fly tipped, and it wasn't really a useful space. And I thought, in this area there's not a lot of people that have got gardens. There's quite a lot of children that live locally that play out on the street. They don't really play here at the moment, so I thought it'd be nice to make it more green and more inviting for people to come and be outside and have some green space.
So when did you start it, Helen?
The end of 2019, and then I was working with the Park Association, and they said there was funding available for Salford gardens from the RHS. So I applied for the funding, was successful for the funding in the beginning of 2020, but then obviously with COVID nothing happened.
But I wasn't just at the garden to talk to Helen or drink her coffee. There was work to be done as well. Helen handed me a little orange tool that I'd never seen before, a little mini strimmer. Let's see how I got on with it. Okay, so first we're going to use this strimmer to just cut around the edges here and clear it out. Make sure this is the best way to do it. So you say you had to stop because of COVID and it didn't happen at that stage. So what happened next?
So the next year, beginning of 2021, the RHS had contacted me again, said I've been successful, would I like the money, would I like to try again for it? And I said yes at the time, but I hadn't done anything like setting up a bank account or setting up a community trust or anything like that. So I had quite a lot of work to do over 2021. The RHS were very good in working with me to do that. But I was doing it all online, so we're just contacting someone because it was still locked down for a lot of that time, but they were really good with working me to get a bank account and working with the CVS to join up with other community groups that would give me more advice about how to start that and how to register as a group. So that's what we did, and then we officially put plants in the ground in December 2021. So that's when it all started.
There's a bunch of people that have come together to do other things in the community. Yeah. So you hooked into that as well?
Yeah, I already knew a couple of people we tried to have a group when I sort of first moved to the area in about 2018. So I'd met a few people previously. So yeah, to work with other people to get more involved in doing other green things in the area.
And so how is it run now? What do you do now?
So we have regular Saturday morning sessions to try and maintain the garden. I've been very, very lucky in that most of the plants either I've bought very cheaply or I have been given by lots and lots of different people, friends, family, different organisations. We were donated a really large amount of bulbs from Buell Hill Association, so it's been great.
Let's go and look at some of the flowers and plants. So what have we got here?
So we've got a really big lavender that's been growing. This was a tiny little plant when I first put it in. We've got some supermarket parsley which just came out of a pot from supermarket, and I separated it out.
So it's food to eat for the community,
food to eat. This is another parsley, so it's the pots that you buy that are about £1 or £2, and I've got one here, one there, separated them all out. They've been here since last winter, they've grown over. A couple more lavender plants, geraniums. These are onions, all of these here, so they're more secret.
And what's this one?
Beautiful iris here, and a couple more growing as well behind it. Those are beautiful. They've been in for 4 years now, so this is longevity. And that's what I tend to do when I plant, is to try and get things that are low maintenance and will last. If they're given to me for free, I will put anything in, but anything I try and do is something that will last for quite a long time or self-seed and come back again, so I don't have to think about it all the time.
And you've got this seating area here. So who did all the work on this?
Because I'd been part of another community group previously, I'd met a few other people from, I think it's Salford living together, and they had said they'd been approached by I think Age UK, who had specific funding for different areas, and they were needing to use the funding up quickly, and they knew I was looking for something for this plot. So we suggested a bench where people could come and sit, and that would also have plants living in it. I then contacted an organisation that had built some similar benches in Stretford and Sale, and they built it for me. They used that money, but they provided the labour for free, and they brought that over, and that's what we've been using for the last 4 years.
Do you find people are actually using it and sitting on it?
I think so, yeah, quite a lot. Quite often I do see people here just if they're waiting for a friend. We've got a takeaway close by. People do come and eat here quite often.
Is that a problem with rubbish and things like that?
There's regular small amounts of rubbish, but it's very rarely a lot of rubbish.
So people take care of it because they see it's being taken care of.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope to think so. That's right.
Let's go and have a look at what we've got down in the other parts of the garden. What have we got here?
So we've got a plum tree here. So this is also sprouting from the base as well. So we haven't had any plums off it yet, but it is a nice green feature.
How many years is it? Is it 20 years before we get plums, or?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really sure actually. It's been in 2 years now, I think. Hopefully,
and
some
it's certainly
point soon.
growing.
Yeah.
And we've got more trees here as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we have a couple of dwarf apple trees here. One here and one here.
I remember this one last year was doing really well.
Yeah,
it looks a little bit smaller. How come?
We have had some vandalism. It seems that people really dislike trees. No other plants have been damaged at all, but the trees have suffered from some vandalism. That's why this one's short. That's why this one's short. And it's why we originally planted 7 and we only have 3 left.
And then over here at the back, this looks like a stinging nettle patch, but what is it really?
Yes, it is a stinging nettle patch. It contains sort of compost heap, and then we cut back the stinging nettles, which also provide for the compost. But we do also have, as a sort of nature area, we've had a lot of ladybirds growing in this area. So that's been sort of leaving it as long as possible and then cutting it down.
Then over here we've got
a very large dogwood, and then underneath it we
the
also...
ones that have red branches in the winter.
Yeah, this one's a sort of pinky orange colour, so it brings colour to the garden all year round, even in the dark corner.
How much sunlight do we get here?
It varies throughout the year. We are north facing this way, and then we do have sort of quite a big surrounding of buildings around us. But we do get quite a lot in the summer. It is quite a little bit of a sun trap in the middle of the day in the summer. It's very nice and warm here.
And what are the plans for the future?
Keep going, I think so. We have been in the Britain in Bloom competition a couple of times, so we'll probably try and re-enter that. Just to sort of bring some positivity to the fact that we do have people working here, people volunteering, people putting their time and effort into it, and it's nice to see that recognised.
I think it's a great way to come and spend a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for inviting me today, and I've enjoyed cutting some things here.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. So there it is, the Horsham Street Community Garden, right in the centre of Salford. I wonder how many pieces of scrapland you can find in your area and what creative uses you can make of them. I'd love to hear more about them. This has been Alan Miles reporting, and I'll be coming up with more great volunteering ideas here on this channel and on my website, milesposts.com.